In horror movies, the final boy is the character who typically survives until the end of the film and defeats the villain. This archetype exists in stark contrast to the much more common and dominating trope of the final girl. The concept of a final boy pivots from the already established gender roles and expectations set forth across the horror landscape, portraying a male character as the hero and survivor rather than a female. This subversion makes the final boy character model particularly interesting and captivating for audiences. Here are our picks for the top 5 final boys in horror movie history. Paxton Rodriguez, portrayed by actor Jay Hernandez, is one of Hostel's main characters, who ends up being the lone survivor out of a group of backpackers that are kidnapped and tortured by sadistic wealthy elites. Paxton endures unimaginable physical and psychological trauma throughout the film, yet despite this, he overcomes his initial reluctance to fight back against his captors and ultimately becomes a fierce and resourceful survivor, using his intelligence and wits to outsmart his tormentors and escape their clutches. His journey from naive and vulnerable traveler to a resilient and determined hero, while staying consistently relatable and likable throughout the entirety of the film, is what makes him stand out as one of the greater final boys out there. The character of Ash Williams in Evil Dead 2, portrayed by actor Bruce Campbell, is widely considered one of the greatest final boys amongst horror fans.
Something out there.
Ash is a college student who finds himself in a cabin in the woods where he accidentally unleashes an evil force that possesses his friends and threatens to kill him as well. Throughout the film, Ash displays incredible bravery and resourcefulness, using his intelligence, physical strength, and quick reflexes to fight off the demonic forces and survive. But what makes him stand out in our list is his incredible sense of humor, consistently delivering one-liners and comedic moments throughout the horror, making his journey from innocent and vulnerable victim to a fierce and cunning survivor incredibly entertaining.
Swallow this.
Devon Sawa's performance of Alex Browning in Final Destination is one of our favorites, if not arguably one of the most forgotten. Alex is a high school student who has a premonition of his plane exploding during takeoff, causing him and several of his fellow students to be kicked off of the flight before it takes off. However, he soon realizes that death itself is coming for them all, one by one, and in the same order that they would have died in the plane crash. Alex is an incredibly sympathetic character, and it almost hurts watching him struggle with survivor's guilt. Throughout the film, however, Alex shows incredible strength, determination, and intelligence, figuring out death's design while simultaneously using his knowledge and wits in an almost Boy Scout-esque way to try and save himself and his friends.
A Nightmare on Elm Street, Part 2, Freddy's Revenge.
Mark Patton's portrayal of Jesse Walsh in 1985's A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, is one of the most defining final boy moments in horror movie history and is widely regarded as the film that started this anti-trend. Jesse is a high school student who moves into the house of the original movie's final girl, Nancy Thompson, and begins experiencing terrifying nightmares about the infamous killer, Freddy Krueger. Throughout the film, Jesse shows incredible bravery and resourcefulness, even as he becomes possessed by Freddy's spirit and is forced to do his bidding. He struggles to maintain his own identity while fighting against Freddy's influence and saving the people he cares about. Most importantly, though, is that his portrayal as a character that possesses arguably queer subtext in a mainstream horror film has made him a cult icon for the LGBTQ+ community. While there have been many great final boys in horror movie history, the character of Chris Washington, portrayed by Daniel Kaluuya in Get Out, stands out as the greatest of all time. Chris begins the film on a seemingly innocent visit to his girlfriend's family home, to then have to fight for survival against a sinister and exploitative system. It is one of the most compelling and memorable in not just horror, but movie history. He displays incredible intelligence, resourcefulness, and courage, using his skills as a photographer to uncover the horrifying truth about his captors, as well as fighting back against them with a combination of physical and psychological strength. Chris also represents a powerful social commentary on race and systematic oppression, making him a groundbreaking and socially relevant horror movie protagonist. His character's impact and legacy have resonated with audiences and sparked important conversation about race and representation in the horror genre and beyond, cementing Chris Washington as Dread's greatest final boy in horror movie history. And those are our picks for the top 5 final boys in horror movie history. Are your 5 different than ours? Leave us a comment and let us know. Don't forget to like and subscribe.